Okay.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching SUPERLAP around the world. My name is Jeremy Scott. Charles Bochelle is alongside, and Omet back in the truck, making sure everything sounds and looks oh so good. I've got a little bit of a shorter intro today. That's okay, Charles, because it's mid-Ohio.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Shorter track, and so we'll keep everything short and sweet as we're getting the warm up period ending, and we've got some qualifying results already to share.
And we're already seeing drivers slide off and on. Here's what it looks like it's Andrew Mowood, your fastest qualifier with the 35.663. Then Ari Reuter, welcome back. It's 7/100ths of a second slower off the front row. Lincoln Olson and John Fritz are third and fourth with Ryan Goff. David Moreno, Brendan Latta, Zane Gross, and Sean Gaynor, as well as Chris Murray, rounding out your top 10. Good to see Ryder Poe with a great improvement over last week, 11th fastest. And Shea Devereaux and Austin Jackson, as well as Alex Reuter and Ethan Armbruster, rounding out your top 15.
Yeah, absolutely. Ahmed Badoun in 16th, Gordon in 17th, Richard Shabe in 18th, 19th is Mike Smith, 20th, Abdul Huda, Alex Larson in 21st, Matthew Manarino in 22nd, Tom Salmon in 23rd, 24th is Benjamin Foles, 25th, Rodney Gibson, Dave Okun in 26th, Ruben Gutierrez in 27th, David Grzinski in 28th, and I believe Hayden Salka is car number 25. And we have any more as we roll through. I think it's 29 car grid. So that is our current provisional qualifying.
I think that's actually a pretty healthy grid size here for the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Just a tick over 2 miles as you see the grid work their way down. We'll just scroll through that and talk a little bit about Mid-Ohio. It's a technical course, except for the first couple of corners where you've got 2 long straightaways, and then once you get into China Beach, work your way all the way through the rest of the circuit. That's where the fun begins.
Yeah, absolutely. Mid-Ohio is extremely technical, especially in that back half of the circuit. But even on the front half, there's some pitfalls that you're going to have to overcome. Obviously, that inside curbing, that's the inside of turn 1 that separates the racing surface from the pit lane exit. You can use that to your advantage, but it also can be a detriment. Lots of little areas where their elevation changes or in braking zones makes it difficult, especially coming into Keyhole and through to as you drop off and kind of anti-cambered coming out to get around that corner and head down that straightaway toward China Beach. And then after China Beach, it's just a roller coaster ride from there. 5-6 is uphill and over a hill through a curve, down into the S's, into Thunder Valley. And it's a madhouse once you get through China Beach. So it's going to be a very interesting race. Once again, it's a really good test to drivers of car control, especially on the brakes, off the brakes, and just trying to roll corners properly and use your throttle to help you get the cars around the corners.
68 degrees your ambient temperature, 71.6 your trackside temperature. So these cars are really going to love that cool-ish air here in literally the middle of Ohio, in Lexington, Ohio. It's a healthy grid, though, and that's one thing that we're seeing with the MX-5s. Basically, it's a nice entry-level car for those who want to run it, and while I'm thinking of it as well, located on the world-renowned Woodward Avenue in Berkeley, Michigan, SUPERLAP is a sim and drive studio, a space to meet and compete with professional-grade racing simulators. They are a premier racing and drive experience venue. They will help you achieve your motorsports goals with education, practice, and training. Many of your favorite racers use a sim. Why shouldn't you? And they will be using it next weekend. Actually, this weekend, I should say, for the iRacing 24 Hours of Daytona. You can race and practice against an AI roster, go head-to-head with other humans, or both. They offer league play like the DRSCCA League. Go to superlap.world for details. I should have paid attention. I never in school either. It could be interesting to see if we start on the front stretch or the typical back stretch. Of course, the pace car will pull off anytime here around pit in. It's Moed and Ari Reuter on the front row, Sean Fritz and Lincoln Olson right behind them. Hayden Sacco, as we said, did not take a time, and really I think he's starting from pit road. Pace car is off, and Sacco will need to start from pit road. We are green coming off the final corner, and so far Moed and Reuter neck and neck going into turn one. I kind of hold my breath because I know what kind of calamity we'll see in turn one when you have these starts like that, and so far so good. Little ride on the curb, but the front half of the field at least makes their way through.
Yeah, so far so good. Looks like we've got everybody just kind of staying in order. It was a good start, 2 wide, and now we're starting to go 3 wide, fanning into keyhole. That's okay in. Probably not the best way to go through there coming out. You're going to have to settle that, and they have back to single file line there on the top of the grid as we make the run down to China Beach for the first time.
Of course, you're watching Lincoln Olson tucking in behind Fritz and Reuter. Moed has fallen back 5 spots already with Reuter in the lead. Here we go. This is one of the braking areas we really worry about because you're downhill, and then you go into that right-hander around China Beach. Turn 4 now up through 5 through the ridge, and so far so good as the field works their way around for the first time at speed. As everybody looking quite racy. It's the battle for 13th with Jackson, the other Reuter, Shabe, and Bedun, as well as Huda, really making their presence known here in this early part of the race. Again, we have half an hour to go to settle the score.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far, once again, we're still clean and green all the way through the field. So great job by all these drivers. This is one of those tracks that can tend to catch a driver out. They haven't put the laps in, obviously, with the SUPERLAP drivers, and we do have at least one in the field. I saw him in practice earlier you don't tend to get as much maybe track time as you would like before the start of this race, especially if you don't have iRacing at home. If you're coming into the SUPERLAP facility, it's sometimes a little bit of a steep learning curve to try and get a track like this, kind of work through and kind of understand everything about it in, the hour or so of practice you're going to get before that. But good job by everybody so far as they are still clean and green. So we work our way through Keyhole again. We're on board here with Cross sitting there in P8, and we do see maybe, I think that's Poe, the little blink there. So maybe some internet connection issues amongst a couple of drivers as we see a blink again, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. It's always unnerving as a driver to have that car in front of you blinking as you're heading into a corner, because you don't know where he's going to end up popping back in, if you're going to be still behind him, beside him, or in the middle of it. So it's one of those things you have to really kind of watch out for as you're racing here on the internet.
Yeah, I was watching a couple of reels online, and yeah, it's interesting to see some of these drivers, these content creators that talk, go through and make fun of the net code and the blinking as, kind of funny thing. And it can be, but if you're in something like this where you're actually, and Foltz is already out in 25th, he's got, there's a spin by Alex Reuter as he gets spun through Thunder Valley. Front end damage, huge. And looks like one other driver involved as well. That might be Huda. Let's take a look at the replay. And it looks like it was just a case of not knowing that somebody was there, and just pitted.
Ooh. And what a rough place to hit that barrier right there just before it straightens out. Instead of getting a scrape, he basically just slammed right into that corner and just basically completely destroyed that car. Luckily, this is the sim and not in real life, because that would have been a torrential hit by Reuter there. But yeah, I got 3 cars now in the pits. Armbruster, Sheeb, and Foles as well. To go along with what was going on there with that incident.
And I know that something I found out over the week is if a driver takes a tow back to the pits, it's an automatic disqualification. I don't think any of those drivers were able to drive back. So Grodzinski, Gordonier's showing out as well. Gutierrez, we have a handful of drivers already out of this race. Gutierrez, Shabe, Foltz, Alex Reuter may have driven it into the pits, so he's showing as blue on our screen. And Ethan Armbruster, one of the faster drivers that we see here, in case you're keeping score, through attrition and basically working its way through the pack, Hayden Saka up 7 spots after not logging a time in qualifying. Here is your leader. It's Ari Reuter, the only Reuter right now in the field, as Fritz and Olsen closing in just a little bit. Of course, you got Ryan Goff, who's always a good front runner here, sitting back there as well. Moreno falling back, and with as tight as this field is, Charles, one wrong move and you're going to lose at least 5 or 6 spots.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw, as a matter of fact, I was watching kind of in the background, I saw a car spin out of the final corner. I think it was crossed, could be wrong. Obviously, it was quite a distance away, so I couldn't identify a number, but we'll see if we can see any changes there as we're going to get a replay here. And it's David Marino as he's looking to the inside there, coming through the carousel section, and then it's going to flip back around, and he just crosses over and there was a car sitting in that place, and that 2 going to 1, unfortunately. So Marino worse for wear there as he spins coming out of the final corner, and the nice little bit of avoidance there. Kind of difficult to that was not an unsafe rejoin because he never left the track, but it's difficult to get that car turned around with all the traffic coming through. So good job by Marino, and good job by the car that came through to be aware and react accordingly.
Quarter Marshal's going to be very busy here, and speaking of that, we got to thank the Michigan Tour Marshals for their support. If you want to get close to the action, and be sure to check out MichiganTourMarshals.org. They can train you to support races like the Detroit Grand Prix, which actually, my wife mentioned that she would like to go see the WeatherTech Sports Car Series here, so we might be making a trek out to there. Might go out to SUPERLAP and see them. Also, I decided to pull up. Oh, there's a spinner right there. That's Gainer with a quick spin. That back end wanted to see what the front end's looking at, and once again, it's in that carousel area. So, we'll talk a little bit about that. But first, I want to shout out Alicia Soray. She's a driver's wife. Not often you hear that. She's rooting on David Oken as. We're working our way through the field, but, I was going to make that point earlier when we got a battle for position first with Olsen and Fritz side by side through the keyhole, and that pass has been made. There's Dave Oken, but let's get back to that battle for second place, where Fritz and Olsen still side by side heading through the kink. They'll get into China Beach that way as well. And man, the racing is hard and fast early on here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. You kind of have to make it be like that. Oh, look at that. A little bit of a bump there off of Sean Fritz, and Fritz trying to hold on as he makes his way up and over the ridge. He'll keep that second place. But back to what we were talking about with the carousel area, you're switching momentum, and there goes Fritz. He goes around, but he's able to get straightened out. I don't envy the stewards this weekend as they are going to have a lot of events to have to go through. But let me see if I can get this point out. The carousel is such a weird area because the momentum shift between having the right and the left sides, it's just so crazy to have to go through that as Poe and Cross going for position. Young rider Poe up to 6th place, so great showing from him in his second ever race here on the DRSCCA and Apex Racing TV. He goes high, wide, and handsome, and that's not what you want to do around the carousel, but you have the momentum shift. Also, you got to stop and figure those curbs are actually a little bit raised. So if you ride on them too high, like you saw there a little bit earlier on with Moreno, you're going to go for a spin.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very, very difficult with the change in directions, change in elevation, and I think even a change in camber through that carousel section. It is a very difficult corner. And it seems like there's sometimes there's just never a good line to go through there to carry all your momentum, and so these drivers struggle just a little bit there. We've seen a couple of incidents through that section. Probably won't be the last time we see that, as we get the nice little bump draft there from Goff onto Olsen as they sneak their way through China Beach and then up around turn 5 and 6. That one catches me out more often than anything else here, as we still get another blink there from the 36 car of Poe. So it's just, once again, kind of unnerving there. You still was there 4 or 5 cars battling through that corner at the same time, and then Poe just disappears, and it's like, okay, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And he finally pops back into place. And so far, nothing major happened yet, but something we're going to have to keep an eye on.
Oddly enough, I might as well mention this. It looks like Poe Motorsports is looking for funded drivers, so definitely reach out to Ryder to see if you can connect with his dad if you want to run a Mustang somewhere around the country this season, whether it's in NASA, I think SCCA, and I think they're MC Mustang Cup, and that way we can get Ryder a MX-5 that doesn't blink so much. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that. But nonetheless, we're seeing Mowat, who's fallen all the way back to 8th place after qualifying on the pole, sitting back there being the interested spectator in the Zane Cross Ryder Poe battle. But now Mowat has a chance to possibly make a move here on Poe going into the keyhole here. And Mowat's going to think better of it. He's a little bit too far away. You don't want to make those dive bombs early on. We're a third of this race through already. And I've got to say, Charles, this has been an absolutely fantastic race. Granted, last season with the F4s, we had some not bad races. These past two races with the MX-5 have been nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah, they really have. It's been really great racing all throughout the pack. It's not just the front, but the mid-pack guys are doing theirs. The AM class is doing a good job. We've seen a couple of instances. We're on board here with Jackson, and I think he was kind of the helper there on that spin that we had here a couple of laps ago in the carousel. As one of the cars spun around, I think he was kind of giving the assist there. But you can see already got some battle scars on the front of that Mazda as they work their way down through Thunder Valley and around up this hill. Another one of those, you see the cars kind of flare out. It's obviously sometimes difficult just to carry their proper amount of speed, but these drivers have done a great job, especially through that section. I've seen horrendous crashes through that section. Oh, as we get a little catch there, guys catch by Jackson. We had the car in front. That was Mowat just carrying too much speed through, manages to get it collected, drops a couple of spots, and then race continues, and everybody's still out on the track and still circulating oil.
Let's go to your second place, Lincoln Olson. I was trying to find points and actually found a little interesting fact about our second place driver right now as he reels himself in on Ori Reuter trying to hold off the hard-charging Ryan Goff. About an hour or so before the race, he said, "Hey guys, just got a message. My Wi-Fi is out until 10. So he's racing on his hotspot right now. If you've done any work on your hotspot, you know how much of a challenge that could be. So Olsen might be one of those drivers to watch out for, hoping that his connection stays put as he goes to the inside. He's really going to tempt fate here as he goes around the inside of Reuter through turn number 4. Everybody makes it out of there without having a trip to the beach, which is a good thing. You want a beach day normally, not here at Mid-Ohio, as Olsen tucks back in.
Yeah, no, you don't want a beach day here, but yeah, good look there. Could not pull the pass off. Slots back into second place. So this is 3-car battle up front, and they've managed to pull out about 2-second gap over 4th place Sean Fritz. Fritz obviously had a little bit of issue earlier, just minor little mistakes. But as these guys keep battling up front, we talk about it, weekly almost, that these side-by-side battles through corners will invite more cars from the back that are able to run their natural line through some of these sections, a chance to gather some time and bring them into this battle. I don't think that's what these guys want. I don't think they want to have Sean Fritz and Brandon Latta being pulled up to the middle of this fight, because when you get from that far back, you get up and make up the time. It just invites you to say, hey, you know what? I'm pretty quick. I'm going to see if I can make this up to the front of the field, and maybe or maybe not is about the best you're going to get out of that. So, they're going to want to keep that gap at least 2 seconds back to that 4th place car. So they're going to have to pick their battles wisely and make sure they're not carrying side by side too much during the course of this race.
Your Thursday F4 AM champion Ethan Armbruster just hit the pit out area, so he will be back out, albeit 6 laps down. But regardless, Sean Fritz still holding on quite nicely after that incident that we saw off of turn number 6. Was able to save it, gather it back up. By the way, your fastest lap of the race so far, it's Ryder Poe sitting in 7th with a 35.964. Not shabby considering he basically grew up here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. There he is in the number 36, so a great showing for his second ever race. Lots to play for here. Your top 3 still within a half second of each other between Reuter, Olsen, and Goff. Fritz sitting back there waiting for something to happen. You also have a battle from Jackson, Mowat, and Devereaux sitting there in 9, so that's a 3-car battle for 9th. But right there's your battle for first.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got here, Austin Jackson, Moed just behind Murray, just in front, as you see him taking a little bit of the grass there, coming into 12, gets that righted and back through, and a good line through there, able to carry the speed and maintain the gap up to Murray, up in 8th with Moed, and now Devereaux is looking to see if he can pick up a little bit of time on these cars and jump in the middle of this battle with these other 3, as they're trying to slowly work their way up to catch up to Poe. But obviously Poe taking fastest laps, it's going to be difficult to track that guy down.
Of course, now he goes from his one paint scheme to another. Amazing how fast you could do that in the sim. Baydoun has a mechanical black flag. He's going to have to come and answer that here in the next couple of laps and he'll lose that 15th spot. And yeah, I would say that would be the cause of a mechanical black flag. I'm surprised Gator hasn't gotten one yet either, because that hood, can we take a look at that onboard of Gator real quick? And Baydoun, he's running on 3 wheels right now. Not sure what happened there. We might get a replay, but Baydoun dropping like a rock, and he doesn't want to, the 312 was just, it's hard to see.
He's basically staring through the mail slot there, trying to navigate his way around the track. Now on board here with Ryder Poe, get a replay of this battle up there with Zane Cross, and just blinking in and out again as we come down the front straight around through turn 1. Hard on the brakes, get that car turned in. Left side wheels up on the curb on the inside. That is about the fastest way through that corner that you're going to get.
No, it really is. As the 21 of Baydoun, let's see what happens here during this replay. And I think he just hits the wall after pit. He could have driven into the pits, but obviously I don't think he knew his damage was as bad as it was. Drags the front clip with him and continues on the ride.
Yeah, well, luckily he'll be able to drive that car back around. It is at least still functional. He's going to be able to jump into the pits and start repairs. My guess is that it's going to be a few minutes. Obviously, that pretty significant damage on the front there, as well as what Gainer's got. And yeah, you're right. I'm shocked. He's basically missing the whole front clip. I think the only thing is maybe a spark plug wires got hooked up in the hood to keep him from keep the hood from flying up and just completely obstructing his vision there. But no meatball flag thus far. So that could happen at any time. One bad bump on a curb, and next thing you know, you're got to come in for a meatball. So when you start getting damage on those cars, it just kind of collects, and then eventually they're going to send you to the pits. So let's hope that he can keep it straight, because obviously points on the offer here. So you want to make sure that you can stay up in your position for as long as you possibly can.
Watching the pit time, and Baydoun has called it time as his pit time freezes at 18.97 seconds. Alex Lorson, the last car running, and Lorson gets around Okun, and Okun gets around Lorson once again. So that's a great battle for 22nd. We're still watching now 4-car battles. Fritz closing in ever so slightly in that battered and damaged number 13. Here comes Olsen to the inside. Goff tried to look to the outside. Nobody able to make any kind of pass. And that's the thing that happens here in MX5 Cup racing, because these cars are so equal. They just, they'll try and make passes, but the second they get out of there, once they lose that draft, it's like hitting a wall.
It really is, and that's is part of the challenge of single make racing, and it's part of the fun of single make racing. Is equally matched cars. I believe these guys are all using fixed setup, so it's basically just about the driver's ability to maximize your lap time and not make mistakes. And that's going to be key to success, as we see them trying to go 3 wide into China Beach, are going 2 wide between the 16 and the 29 as they work their way up into turn 5 and turn 6. And that's 29 car, that is Murray on the inside, switches now to the outside, and it's going to give Jackson a chance to hold contact. And the 29 is around and just a little half spin, but lost himself several seconds. He's going to have to try and really work hard to make that up.
So a little update here, okay? From Lincoln Olsen's team, RJ Molson said hotspot didn't work, so they had to go to the high school for a quote-unquote backup sim. That's going to be a fun interview if we can get Lincoln Olson here. Oh, a little bit of a draft there coming out of Thunder Valley as Mowat falling back to 9th place. Not the race that he wanted to have his pole, but nonetheless, this Reuter Olson Goff battle, absolutely fantastic. And now Sean Fritz about 0.8 of a second behind this, as Reuter's going to take the defensive line going into the keyhole. Can he save it up? And he does indeed. They work their way around. We've got about 10 minutes left to go in this race. Where has the time gone?
Yeah, for sure. And these guys are still battling hard. And Sean Fritz is starting to make up that gap. It's down to a 1.5. So he's basically in the draft of the golf in 3rd place. So he's going to continue to just kind of eat this time up as these guys are still battling side by side coming down into China Beach. And it's the 27 car of Reuter on the inside switching to the outside. That's going to allow Olson to get a good run through this corner here at turn 5 and 6 and then down the hill. And he's going to get that pass made. So Olson's going to move to the front.
Textbook move through that section. You want to get up and over the ridge and shut the front door on the driver you're passing. Move Lincoln Olson to the point. Now Reuter has to deal with Goff all by himself. He had Olson as a buffer, not going to make it happen this time by. Under 10 minutes to go. Can Olson do it from high school and win on a backup sim? We'll find out here in just about 9 minutes time. Look at that deep lunge that Reuter made. Of course, that's going to harm his exit coming out of the carousel down the front straightaway. 0.2 of a second, almost 0.3 of a second between Olson and Reuter. And Fritz, he's just ever so slightly chomping away at that gap that he has to Ryan Goff.
Yeah, it really is. He's closing it up, and every time he gets on these couple of straights down the front stretch between 1 and 2, and then down through 3 into China Beach, he just gets a couple of tenths here and there, and it's brought him all the way up to the back of this pack. So it's about to be 4 cars battling for the race win here. And somebody's not going to make it on the podium, and we'll see how this all shapes out, as now Reuter's going to get the draft off of Olson and get the run down through into 3 and then into 4, and he's going to look to the inside to see if he can make that move stick as well.
That's probably one of the best places to watch pass for, not just the MX-5s, but your Spec Miatas as well. Here comes Olson to the inside once again. He's not going to be able to make that move that he made earlier. He's going to try, though, but he's still a car width away because that car width is being held by Ari Reuter. Here comes Ryan Goff to the outside as they work their way heading into Thunder Valley. Little bit of a rear rotation out of Olson. That's exactly what you need to get that top speed up and over there. And look at how close Sean Fritz is now. He's essentially knocking at the door of Ryan Goff, trying to get onto that podium. Little Wiggly coming out of Thunder Valley.
Yeah, a little Wiggly coming out. Lost a little bit of time there, just 3 or 4 tenths. Fritz has dropped back, but still well in range here, as we've got about 7 minutes left in this race, and these guys are still battling tooth and nail. Have since the drop of the green, and probably will until we get checkers or wreckers, I think is what we're going to call it for tonight.
And of course, while everybody loves coming here to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, I'm pretty sure a lot of drivers would love to see Waterford Hills on this sim, because Waterford Hills is Metro Detroit's only permanent sanctioned road course located in Clarkston, Michigan. And Waterford Hills hosts 6 weekends. Competition, driving school, 9 public open track days. The track goes out from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and is open to the public. $5 gets you in. That's all it takes to get you close to the action. Check out waterfordhills.com for details. The 006 at Gibson trying to hold off Manarino. And here's the battle for the lead again as Reuter dives to the inside through turn number 4. But Olson again has that line, but he's going to scare off a little bit of speed and kind of shove Reuter high heading through turn number 6. But Reuter has that great advantage once again. He's finally able to get off a 5 and get that run. That's also going to enter in Goff in the conversation.
Wow, just not enough there to carry that through 8, and just could not hang on to it. So he's going to fall back. Reuter's going to fall back to 2nd place. But you can see he's trying to work that line, because it's going to end up in his advantage if they can get all the way around to turn 9. He'll be on the inside and have the inside run, but he just can't carry the speed through all those corners in order to get there. So it's just not quite enough, but he's going to obviously line it up and try it again. I probably will see the same thing again this lap that we saw last.
Lots of jostling everywhere. I think it's part and parcel to some internet issues that we're having on the East Coast, but still. By the way, Hayden Saka up 15 spots, up to 14th. Here comes Fritz on the outside, because it's going to be Ryan Goff on the inside of the keyhole, and Fritz now wants that podium spot, and I got to tell you what, Charles, he's really looking nice and tight for it.
It really is. Now that he's got that run going and is able to catch up to the third place car, he's going to start putting pressure on him. That's going to make this instead of a 4-car battle, it's going to make it 2-car battles. As third now, he's got to look behind him just as much as he's looking in front to try and keep Fritz behind him as they work their way over these last couple of laps here. And he's doing a good job so far. But Fritz obviously gets a little bit of damage on the front. That's going to hurt him, especially in the long straights. It's going to hurt his aero just a little bit, so he's going to have to really work to keep that nose covered up behind Goff's car until it's time to pop out and maybe try and make a move. So he's going to have his work cut out for him here as now that battle's kind of seated for just a minute. We can get back into a big 4-car pack here as we come around through the carousel one more time here with about 4 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, if I'm Goff and Fritz, we're racing each other, but I see the lead pack right there. I want to get up there and make sure that I can battle for the win. Of course, Ryan Goff, look at that. He's mixed in with a bunch of A-class drivers through that stretch. As I have a feeling we've about 2-3 laps left to go, so plenty of time for something to happen. Not too far away from there. There's a lot of cross and pose. They work their way around turn 1.
Yeah, working their way through turn 1. Still 4 cars up at the front there is kind of watching the cars behind, and Cross is starting to make up some time on Latta in 5th. But the big battle right now is these top 4 as they work their way down to China Beach. You see the bump drafting going on there between Reuter and Goff, as Goff has just pushed him, saying, you got to go faster. I got this guy behind me, and he wants to get around. As they work their way through China Beach, up the hill, up the ridge, into turns 5 and 6. Still just nothing between these cars. As you see the elevation change and you get the gyro cam working, so you can see the change in the camber as they work their way through these corners. That's through back over to 9. We're going to come around through Thunder Valley here and back up the hill. Carry as much speed as you can. Let the car flow out as wide as you can allow it. Just to keep that momentum in it as we get down. And I believe it's going to be 2 to go when we get to the start-finish line. Sorry about that.
Yeah, two to go at the line. So, yeah, the starter will have the white flag next time by, as we've got a little bit of a wiggle there out of Fritz as you see him coming through the carousel. And that's always a danger through there. If you're trying to battle, you want to make sure that your car is nice and set up. So, yeah, 2 laps to go. That's given Olsen a chance to open up a 3 to 4 car length gap, which is not much here in MX5 Cup. Reuter and Goff are sitting there in 2nd and 3rd, but Fritz still can make a move if he so desires up ahead, as Alex Larson going off course near the back part of the circuit. They're able to get back underway. Still, a lot of great storylines from this race. We've watched this battle for the top 4 most of the race. You got to hand it to Austin Jackson, up 4 spots, knocking on the door of 8th place. Both Hayden Saka and David Grzinski, they're both up double digits. Something I wanted to mention also during the race, Corby Gordonier, he's doing quite well considering he did a shoey with the one and only Daniel Ricciardo at the Detroit Auto Show earlier today. So good on you, kid. You got some lessons on how to do a shoey and still drive afterwards.
There you go. Yeah, that's a big deal, is to get the shoey from Danny Rick. So well done for that. As we're coming up through Thunder Valley one more time, we'll be coming to the white flag this time, and it's still that 4-car battle for the lead here, as Fritz has kind of dropped off just a little bit, but not too much. Just 8 tenths or so is the gap, and he's going to be able to work that down. Just get a good run here through 12, and then down the hill through 13, around to the start-finish line, and we got 1 to go as we go here.
Huda with the solid black already. And let's see what happens here in these next couple of corners. Olsen, Reuter, Goff, and Fritz. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's why. Oh, look at that. Gator. How does he not have a meatball? He can't see a thing.
That's crazy. I don't know, but he's managed to get this car around, and it might just be just good practice. As we got a car around. That is Manarino, I believe, that was around there coming out of 6. We'll get the replay real quick, and we'll see the number 11 car inside curb, works his way up the ridge, and just carrying too much speed, losing the rear. Yeah, just once you get up the top of that hill, the car gets light, and if you're you don't have your inputs right, then around you go. As we are now back to live action here, and back up to the front of the field with Reuter leading, and Olsen and Goff battling for second place.
Yeah, we had a big change for the lead there going through that 4-5-6 complex once again as Olsen and Goff are side by side. That's given Reuter a chance to open up a 0.7 of a second gap. Here comes Fritz as he challenges for third place. Doesn't make anything of it. Coming through Thunder Valley, they're leaning on each other, Fritz and Goff are. And Fritz goes a little wide, so that's going to be race over for him. He'll still stay in fourth, but here comes Ari Reuter, able to come through and gain one position from the start, and he will take the checkered flag and win race number 2 here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Lincoln Olsen second, Ryan Goff in third, and we got to wait to see who wins the AM class.
Yeah, that was a great battle with these guys up front as crosses the line in P6. Poe coming around in 7th. And here we go. We've got Moed finishing in 8th, Jackson in 9th. I think Jackson is our AM class winner. They're up 4 positions there to finish in 9th place overall. So well done to Austin Jackson.
As he's going to pull off in turn number 1. And yeah, fantastic showing by a lot of these drivers. We saw some drivers up front that we don't normally see up front, but that's the glory of running the MX-5s. Here's Ethan Armbruster comes across the line 6 laps down in 24th. Mike Schmidt comes across the line as well. Your highest climber, though, Hayden Saka in the number 43 in 14th.
Yeah, great run by Saka there. Just manage to hang on and keep the car on the track and let the people making the mistakes run them. And that's sometimes that's as good as being really fast. It's just being really consistent and safe and keeping your car out of trouble, and it's going to get you a good result more often than not. You got the final few drivers and Huda coming into the pit lane. I'm sorry there, Mr. Huda, that is not going to help you. That is going to be a 40-second penalty. As you did not take that black flag before the final lap. So
not top 5 for iRacing. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. How do you run with your foot up? And yeah, he's just going to beach it right into the wall, coming off the keyhole. That's fine. You're not going to, And still no meatball flag.
It's definitely broken now. I don't think that car's moving anymore.
Night to say the least.
It really has, but
there's Larson into the Trevor Project at MX-5. I know why he's running they're running the multicolors, but I absolutely love seeing so many different colors on the MX-5, and really the pink looks great on it.
Mm-hmm, absolutely does.
Take a look at our field as that's the qualifying results. So I'll go off my timing screen. Ari Reuter, your winner in the number 27. There we go. Lincoln Olsen finishes off in second place. Ryan Goff, Sean Fritz, and Brennan Lotta round out your top 5. Then Zane Cross, Ryder Poe with the fastest lap of the race, 35.964. Best showing for him, 7th place. Andrew Moe at 8th. 9th, Austin Jackson. 10th, Shea Devereaux. Rounds out your top 10 there. Dave Moreno has the early race spin, able to climb back up to 11th place. Chris Murray, Mike Schmidt, Hayden Saka, and David Grudzinski, your top 15, Charles.
Yeah, Corey Gardner finishing in 16th. Rodney Gibson finished in 17th. Tom Salmon finished 18th. As we scroll the page, I believe Sean Gaynor is going to be your 19th place finisher. That's correct. Alex Larson finishes in 20th. 21st is Matthew Manarino. Dave Okun finishing in 23rd. Abdul Huda finishing in 22nd for Okun. 23rd for Huda. Armbruster finishes in 24th. Badoon finishing in 25th. Ruben Gutierrez in 26th. Alex Reuter finishes in 27th. Richard Shabe finishes in 28th. and Benjamin Foltz is classified in P29. So great race. Obviously, some cars did not quite make it to the end there, but that's to be expected here at Mid Ohio. It's a very difficult track to get your head wrapped around for a 30-minute race here in the Moz or any car. This track is just very technical and very difficult to get wrapped around as far as your getting everything the way you want it. So great job by everybody out there tonight, and we'll look forward to a better race again with a little bit different strategy next week. I think we've got some drivers, Jeremy, in the waiting room for some interviews.
Let's bring in our race winner, Ari Reuter. He finishes on the top step of the podium. Ari, first of all, congratulations. We featured your guys' race most of the race between you, Olsen, Goff, and Fritz. But I've got to say, that was some spectacular racing there throughout the whole race. Congratulations.
Yeah. No, I think this was the most fun I've had in the league so far. That was a great race between me and Lincoln there. Ryan came in too at the end and spiced it up. I don't know if you saw when I kind of pushed him off the edge of the track. I apologize for that, but yeah, it was a great time. It was fun.
It's like we mentioned halfway through the race when everybody was here running everybody off the track and spinning each other. I'm like, you know what? The stewards are going to have so much fun over the next week doling out penalties, but nonetheless, that's just the spirit of the MX5. You're going to rub, you're going to run into each other, and it just happens as long as you have fun, which a lot of you guys really do have a lot of fun with this MX5 format.
Yeah, no, the MX5 is always the car that makes the most fireworks, I think. With F4 and SRF, you can't really touch as much, but with these, you end up getting door-to-door a lot. And I think that just adds to it.
All right. Next week, it's the sacrificial home of the MX5's Road America. We saw some, I would consider a drafting practice here, but next week you're really going to have to hang in the draft. What are you looking forward to most about it?
Yeah, Road America is one of the tracks that it always makes a fun race because it's just drafting past each other and you have to go side by side for half the lap. And it's one of those tracks where, yeah, it's a big factor. Strategically, I've kind of been getting pushed around into like making some suboptimal decisions these last two races, because yeah, in the Sebring race we started fighting early and we let those two get away, and then this time Lincoln started like fighting me early and we let Sean back in. But I hope that I can get in a better spot next week. Just try and figure out Road America a little better with the pushing. Maybe just in practice, some people will get the idea. But yeah, I'm not saying my other drivers are doing anything wrong necessarily. I mean, it makes for great TV, obviously. So, yeah.
He says the drivers are doing everything wrong. No, it's Ari. We've seen your progress from the F4s to here, so it's been absolutely fantastic to watch. Congratulations. Anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, all my real life sponsors, Summit Landscaping, C-Tech Performance, people who help me out. My family for keeping me going, and just all the people in DRSCCA for keeping this thing running, and you guys at Apex for giving us some, making us able to show us the great TV, able to show people. So, yeah.
All right, Ari, we'll see you next week at Road America. Good luck, and go get some rest and get ready for practice.
All right, thanks, fellas. We'll see you.
Ari Reuter, your winner here in Mid-Ohio. And Charles, I'm going to have you bring on our driver who used a spare sim and went to the high school, Lincoln Olsen.
Yeah, Lincoln, welcome in. Congratulations. What a great battle you guys put on up at the front of the pack tonight. It was, you and Ari going back and forth. And then every time somebody got past, you had Ryan Goff right behind you, keeping you honest. So some great driving. And then Sean Fritz getting into the action there toward the very end, and but made for some great racing tonight.
Yeah, it was an incredible race. I was just tucked in at the start there, wanted to settle down, make sure everything was good. Yeah, I am over at the high school, so I was getting used to everything here. Didn't get to do a whole lot of practice. But yeah, it was an incredible race, really good time with Ari. Got together a little bit at the end there, but it's racing, it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the high school sim room, because I'm old enough to not even have. We barely had a computer room when I was in high school. So was this just a room that you just maybe brought your own equipment, or do they have a pretty nice setup already waiting for you?
Yeah, so about a year ago, me and my family started a high school sim racing team here. We're just expecting to have a couple Logitech wheels and utilize their esports programs computers. And then we able to just find some funding, and now we have actually 8 Sim Magic full-blown triple monitor setups. We have our own room and everything. So when my Wi-Fi went out at home, we were like, just hop right on over here.
That's awesome. That is great to hear. And I was I was not joking about that. I'm just, it's been a long time since high school for me, but that's awesome to hear, and it's good that I've heard of colleges, obviously with some of the NASCAR programs they've got in iRacing, but it's good to see that the sim racing is growing amongst the high schools and colleges. That's actually really, really cool. So next week, obviously, we go from a very technical track here at Mid Ohio to a massive draft track at Road America with a couple of corners you have to keep your eye on, but for the most part, it's pretty much flat out racing.
Yeah, I'm very excited for next week. I'm pretty strong at Road America. We're planning to go there a couple times for real life this up and coming season. So glad to get some practice for that. But I love those big draft tracks. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Lincoln, we'll let you give any thanks before we'll let you go celebrate your P2 and hopefully be able to get home and have some working internet.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to thank my mom for her idea of just hopping down over here and so willing to come and help me do that. Thanks to my parents for also just in general helping me with all this racing stuff. I know I've got some grandparents out there watching and other family members and friends. Thank you to you guys and all my real world sponsors. I really appreciate it.
All right, Lincoln Olson, congratulations. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Not bad. Who knew you could just go to your high school and run that program? All right, final thoughts as we head off to Road America next week.
Yeah, great racing tonight, especially that front group just really battling from start to finish. And looking forward to Road America. Fantastic racetrack. It's going to be more of the instead of the dives in the corners. You're going to see that a lot, but it's going to be lots of side by side pack racing as the draft's going to keep the cars together for just a little bit longer. So we may have us a nice big pack up at the front of this grid for next week, and hopefully everybody keeps the fenders on it. We can get some good results out of it. So it was a great race tonight, and I'll look forward to a great race next week as well.
SUPERLAP F4 and MX5 Cup is supported by the Detroit Region SCCA. This league would not be possible without the support of the DRSCCA. Log on to drscca.org for more info. For myself, Charles Bochelle, and Omet, thanks for joining us here on Apex Racing TV. And remember, especially at MX5s, keep it pointed forward, keep it between the ditches, and always keep it greasy side down. We'll see you next week at the National Park of Speed here on Apex Racing TV.